Run, run, run. She's just taking it away. Good morning, how are you? It's all right, we're in live. Oh, photos. Gemma hates me this morning because I've done that thing of looking and going, just as I walk past, this is what happens. I walk past and go, oh, that new bolt of fabric, it just looks fabulous with that. And she's like, you want it on the show, don't you? Like, yeah. So she's frantically running around photographing stuff so that we can have it on the show because it looks fabulous. I might have to use, would it make it better, Gemma, if I used it on the show?
I mean, would that make it better in what way?
Make you feel better for the fact that I've just watched you run?
I love running.
You love running.
I love running. It's totally my thing.
It's totally your thing.
Last orders at the bar, and if I was missing the last bus, would be the only
Last orders and last bus. Amazing. Amazing. So that's what I've done to Gemma this morning. She might forgive me. She might not. Who knows? We'll find out as the day progresses. Thanks, PT. Which is the irony, isn't it? PT is a surname. Totally not accurate. She's gone. How are you? Did you have a nice rest of the day? Wasn't it glorious? Wasn't it glorious? I did a last-minute Easter egg hunt for the kids in the garden. It was very nice, very nice. They got overexcited. Not like chocolate eggs. I think they've had enough chocolate to well, we all have to last well, I say a lifetime, till this afternoon, till about 11 o'clock probably. But no, it was very, very nice. And so they're back at school today. Well, I say they. Fred's is with his new smart haircut. I'm just trimming down some backing fabric. You know when you just have those moments and you think, how could I be that stupid? We all have them. I've started using Style Vilfix a lot for my bags. It's fabulous. It really maintains its shape, but it's like air to sew through. It's really lovely. But because it's wafty, this is the new international sign for wafty rather than chatterbox. What's the word I want? Foamy? Anyway, it's, yeah.
Lofty.
No, well, it's not lofty. It's normally, no. Foamy. Yeah. Dense, foamy, but light. I don't have the words today. Anyway, it's great stuff. What was I saying about it? I've completely forgotten what I was saying. Oh yeah, but because it's quite deep, I was really struggling to cut it with my 45mm. I'm like, how? Especially because I like to cut like 2 layers at a time. Not happening. And of course, then I realise I've got a 60mm rotary cutter for that. It's what it's been there for all my life. How are it? Spongy. Jeanette, thank you. That'll do. That'll do nicely. Spongy. I can hear Gemma going, oh, yeah, spongy. Sunny with Penny. Fabulous. Thanks for my refund on Silly Mistaken digital instructions instead of physical instructions. Absolute pleasure. I had nothing to do with that. That is SJ. Happy birthday, SJ. To, you know, one of the founding people at Natasha Makes is SJ. She's been from the very beginning when she sat in my kitchen and went, you've got how many social media accounts? And I went, yeah. And what's the password for them? Pass rather than password, I think, is where we go there. And she has been patient, she's been diligent, she's been phenomenal. So SJ, we wish you a very, very happy birthday. So all I would say is that if you've got any queries or you want your postage, excuse me, amalgamated into one shebang, SJ is going to work up until the end of the show, and then she's having the rest of the day off because it's her birthday. So please be patient. Yeah, that's all really. I think that you can, you know, SJ's helped all of us at some point, so I'm pretty sure that we can let her have the rest of the day off. These are nice. I'm going to ask Lisa to send us some of these, actually. They're microfiber cloths. Glasses are my new thing because I realise, you know, after however long I actually need them. So, new bag and matching glasses case. I've got some more of those flexi frames in for the glasses case. You know, these things. Now I had, there we go, here they are. That's the pin. I do try and pop them in like that. They might come out in the post, but I do try and pop them in so that you know that you've got them. It wasn't one of you. It was one of the Hochanda viewers who said, I don't have the pin. I don't have the pin, and sent a photo, and I had to draw a circle around it in the end. And I went, you have. It's there. It's there. Right. Okay. Nearly missed you, said Myra. Been looking at some pizza posts on Instagram. Wonder who it was. It's just pizza porn, isn't it? It's just, can you imagine what it's like living with it? There is a reason that, you know, I was going to say my weight's ballooned, but to be fair, it's not due to pizza because they're only about 250 calories a pizza, Stephen's Pizzas. Morning, Jan. Morning, Alison. It's all the chocolate and rubbish that I eat on top of that. Morning, April. How the devil are you? And Steph, good morning. April, we have got your fellow Aussie fabric on today. Morning, Kirsty. Sunny here in Wellingborough. You see, that's nice. See, when Kirsty tells me what the weather is, I know what it's like for my in-laws. So that's nice. Glam Pam can be out in the sunshine today in the garden, I'm sure. Have a hip, hip, hooray, happy birthday, SJ, says Margaret. Yay! Anne says, morning, sorry if you've said, but is there an import delay? Has not had notification of Tilda subscription dispatch yet. And they come out at the end of the month. They're all cut, and the last of the fabric came in yesterday, and Jane is assembling them today, and they will go out. But they go out at the end of the month. We've always said from the very beginning that they go out any time between now and the end of the month. So you've still got a couple of weeks, but they will be there in the next few days. So do not worry, we have not forgotten about you at all. Rona says, happy birthday, SJ. Yes, I agree. She is brilliant. Well, she is. Totally. Yep. Diane, SJ is awesome. Lisa. Oh, nice lens cloth. Yeah, Lisa, when am I getting more of those? You sent 2. I have at least 6 pairs of glasses. It's not going to work, is it? We need a few more of those. April, happy birthday, SJ. Grace, morning. Happy birthday, SJ. Happy birthday, SJ. Cake, says Myra. Yeah. You see, normally if SJ had been working here, so SJ works remotely because of COVID, normally she'd be here, but her and Josh have been working remotely now for months and months and months, so we keep the bare minimum here that we can. Yeah, so SJ, you should hopefully, fingers crossed, get some cake soon, because you would otherwise have had cake here. Oh, Pam's a little tardy. Bad traffic. There shouldn't be bad traffic. Oh no, I guess people are allowed out, aren't they? They're allowed back. Yeah. Anne says, thanks for updating. It's my absolute pleasure. Yeah, no, if it had gone into next month and you hadn't had it, then I would say, you know, panic. But honestly, no. The only thing, it's the CAFE subscription that I'm waiting for. It has been sat at the dock since the 25th of March. The fabric, and it's only one bolt. It's only one of the fabrics for the CAFE for subscriptions that I'm waiting for. So yeah, but no, Tilda is fine. We're all good. So today is all about the bags, because I promise you, I made a promise to you that when we first introduced Lisa's fabrics, and she has got such a gorgeous array of patterns, I promised you that we would keep her fabrics coming through in stock as much as we can. And we have. We absolutely have. I was talking to Lisa this morning just before she went live with her show, just saying, oh, can I have an extra bit of this and that and the other? So yeah, I promised that. I also promised that I would demo her things as well, and so today is no different, because I know a lot of you have bought these bag handles, and I know that a lot of you have bought the glasses cases with these rather beautiful tops. And if you have, and you've got the glasses case pattern, know that for these ones that we have now, they are exactly the right size for the pattern piece. With the ones that we originally bought to wear, I think they're the prim ones. Are they prim or the hemline ones? The hemline ones, you have to add a 1/4 inch seam allowance. With these ones, they are absolutely the exact ones for the project. Okay, so we've got those in various colours. Hi Natasha and everyone, says Geraldine. Oh hello, not going anywhere today, waiting for my new couches to arrive. Ooh, nice, very nice. What else are we doing today? Yeah, oh yeah, so this. The other thing that I learnt from Lisa very early on is that she's also a cave lover. And she's like, oh yeah, no, you know, my bags, they look great in cave as well. So I was like, right. I kind of took it as a challenge. I don't know why I took it as a challenge. So, this is today's make. Lisa was like, I don't know why you do this to yourself. Why do you make these at like 5 o'clock in the morning? But I love it. I absolutely love it. So if you have got the treasure tote with the M clasp, this is called the M clasp. This is almost finished. I'm going to show you this all the way through. Okay, and then I'm going to show you my tips, tricks and hints for getting this frame in. Because if anybody saw my photo yesterday, yeah, it looks like it's not going to fit. I use Styleville Fix because it means that the weight, because these tops are quite weighty. Can I show you my lining? Yeah! I couldn't decide. So I went 50-50 on the lining. It's like a mini carpet bag. I absolutely love it. And then I've got my little matching glasses. Have I got any glasses in there? Oh no, it's these ones. These ones go in there. So that is going to be today's make. Yes, indeedy doody. Oh, I think I've got a theme going on because with this one, look, matching glasses case for that one as well. I think I've got, you know, bit of a thing going. There we are. Right. And I'm totally comfortable with that. So I'm also going to show you how to put together this one here, and we've got the frames for that as well. Again, these have sold out every time we've brought them to air. So yeah, it's just really bringing things, showing you how to put them together and to enjoy them, so that the fabrics that you've got or the fabrics that you buy, we're gonna have some suggestions and see what you fancy. Styleville Fix is where I'm at. I need to order some more in today. It'll be here in 2 days. So there will be, oh, there's the point of my needle. Guess who broke a needle yesterday? Did I break it on air? I can't remember. Yeah, so that will be that. So let's have a look at what fabrics to use today. I'm going to go with, let's just get this out. You will get the patterns for these. I've spotted a slight typo in the treasure tote, but I'm going to show you it today, and then you'll know, because you get the pattern in for free. I think today, I haven't used this one. It's only recently come in and it is rather gorgeous. And I think that with that frame is going to be a bit special. Now, Lisa, is this the one that Lisa did? I don't know which. Is this one that we're doing? This one. And I'm going to treat myself. You see, it's either that. Oh, hang on a minute. It would look quite phenomenal in the fans. Basically, this was yesterday's conversation. Was what do we do? Do we line it in the fans? Is that okay to have that as you open up so it's as incredible on the inside? You get that incredible hit of colour as you open it up. Or I don't really like having dark inside a bag because then I lose everything. Can't find a thing. Cannot find a thing. What do we think? Ooh, decisions. Let me know, by the way, if you've got a preference today. Let me pop that somewhere so that I can see. Oh, look what else I've got for you. The Great British Sewing Bee, The Techniques. This comes out in, I think, 10 days' time, which is rather fabulous. So it's on a delayed dispatch, but everything, if you love your dressmaking or you're just thinking about getting into it, it's got step-by-step guides. It's fab, really fab. I do like it a lot. Shirt sleeve placket opening. I mean, it's a whole other world, isn't it? Absolute other world. And there we go. So everything that you will be seeing as well, seeing and seeing. So simple, is it though? And all about your interfacings. That's what we need to know. And the all-important grain line. 12s. They never get a chance to make a 12, do they, on the old Great British Sewing Bee? Oh, those cats. Those cats. Oh my goodness. The pussy placement. Wow. Wow. Just wow. That's all I'm saying on that. So yeah, if you want to grab that, that is on the website and that will be dispatched direct from the publishers the minute that we're allowed. Oh, got a voicemail, lovely. What else are we going to do today? Should we choose some fabrics? I'm going to need your help. I think. Let me, oh, we've got a delivery coming in. I am really hot today. Is it really warm today? Or is it just me? Hang on, where's my, oh, I've lost my thingamajiggy. I'll pop it up there. There we go. Alrighty. I like the one in the orange, please. Floral outside, fans inside. You're late, John. Which is that? Where is he? Where is he? Love the lining. Just something I would do. Yeah, do you know what? I couldn't decide. So, yeah. Oh, hang on. Lisa. Oh, Lisa's here. You're late, John. John, you're late. Where are you late? I like orange. I like the one in orange, please. Oh, wait, no. Cass is right. The black. Good morning from Louisiana in the United States. 4 a.m. here. Glad to see you finally. Hello. Lovely to have you with us. Welcome. Oh, I couldn't decide yesterday. We've got 2 bags to make this morning. You know, not too much pressure at all. It's all good, right? We have got, let me show, I'm going to work with this one. So at least I have made the decision because these are brand new colourway. Can't actually get it out the bag. These are brand new colourway for these clasps for the treasure tote. And they're rather gorgeous. It says light gold. I'm going to be honest. If I was looking at it in a shop, I would say rose gold. Yeah, what are you doing up at 4 a.m? Gosh, sort of thing I do. Here we go. So it is a light gold, which means it looks, this was sort of what I had earmarked for it. To pick out the light gold in there. What do we think? Yes. And then I thought, can we just have a look at the detailing in this? They are really beautiful. Someone said to me on Facebook this morning, I have not seen a clasp like that. No, they're very, very beautiful. We get them specially for Lisa's stuff. I think that might be rude not to do that today. Oh, these fans are having an outing. Do you know what I find hard is that the fans would look just as beautiful on the outside as they would, possibly not with that bag frame colour, but as they would on the inside. And that's where I struggle. So let's have a look at some combos for you. So when you get the frames, whichever one you decide to go to, that is the flower bag frame because it's got flowers up there, and the other is the treasure tote. We've got them all in like silver, gunmetal, antique brass, yeah, all of them in those colorways. So we're gonna have a little look. Let's move some of this out the way and see what we fancy. Okay, so yeah, we are going to look at Lisa's because this came in. This, ladies and gents, of course, goes with your scarves. Yes, it's finally in. So if you bought that beautiful, beautiful grey scarf, and I wore mine on Hochanda / the craft store just the other day, then now you can get your bag to match. I'm the one that cleans, by the way, so when I just lob it to one side, don't think, ew, 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 disrespectful. It's me who cleans. Right, let's have a look at this. I'll tidy up later. Right, well, this has got to come out of the bag, because I hate these bags. Hate bags. Bags, 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 bags. Right. I mean, yes. Just be aware, people, if you are buying this, it's got a 60 centimetre repeat. So if you want a full repeat, go for a metre. Ooh. Or 1.5 meters if you want loads left over. But if you want to be able to centre that and have 2 of them, you are going to need 1.5 meters of this. If you want to just use this, then you're absolutely fine. But if you want this main motif to centre, and you know, it would be rather special. And just be aware this is a 60 centimetre motif repeat. It does say it on the website for you, just so that you are aware. Do just take a look, because this and the panel project we have, yeah, we have said. Now, lining. This has come in, which Jane had her little eagle eye on this morning and went, ooh, ooh. That is rather lovely together, isn't it? And this is, just so that you know, this is blush, grunge blush, but it picks up that, throws in a little bit of purple as well, actually. The other one that I just wanted to throw out there as being rather gorgeous, doesn't that change the feel of it? And this is Grotto. I had to learn this morning because I didn't know what grotto was. I just thought it was like Santa's grotto. Was this PT? Possibly the biggest collection ever today, but I refuse to apologise. They were too beautiful to leave anything out. That's fine. That's fine. We'll work our way through gradually. It's okay. Now, what actually struck me, now that the tawny has finally arrived, so if you are waiting for any of your 2021 capes and you had tawny in it, this only arrived yesterday. They've now been cut and all of the pre-order cape fabrics have now been dispatched. They went in the post yesterday. But this and this, oh my. Oh my. How beautiful are those together? Actually, I mean, that's not bad either. Just having a little play. I love, love, love to have something a bit contrasty. So they are options. They are all on the website, www.natashamakes.com. Now, hey, loads of you have been making the cork-based bags. We do have the cork on the website. You see, now I see that in the camera. I wish I'd picked out the green. But actually, if you want to go for one of our solids, you know, maybe that's where your budget's at, and you get a 1/2 meter of gorgeous Lisa fabrics to make one of these bags. Then yeah, I picked out, and this is the Rose and Hubble. This is just orange, just called orange. Otherwise, lime will be your green to pick out for there. or actually any of the blues would be rather special, wouldn't they? Depends what you want to pick out and see. This is where I'm struggling because there's just so much choice. And again, you know, if I didn't go with the fans with that, I could also line it with that orange, and that would be fabulous as well. Choices, choices, choices. It's really difficult, isn't it? You see, now this is another of your, you see, I would have to go hot tomato or paprika or khaki if you wanted the green, to pick out the green with that. Khaki would look phenomenal. So the butterflies, I think, are going to be really, really beautiful with the cork base bags. And you can just see, this was up here. This was one of the prototypes with the cork base. I actually ended up making it smaller. You can see the one on the end is how big they actually ended up being. But this was the first one when I first started to play and have a little play around. That was where I instantly went to, was with the butterflies. So have a play. They are really beautiful. And again, you've got various different shades of butterflies. Oh, now you see this. This is the same as that one, but just that's on black. How stunning. So yeah, you can put that with the orange, pull that through, be gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Whereas this one, yeah, this one's more earthy in its tones. And I'm just spinning around seeing if I've got any of the, so if you've got any of the olive, if you see any of the olive fabrics from Lisa, you know that that's going to be that colour there. And then, oh, those pinks and blues that I've just put away would be stunning. That blush grunge with that would be a bit good. We get asked a lot by you for help in colour matching, which we are so happy to do. It's one of our favourite things. So now, just bear with me, caller. I love a good grunge because, look at this. They've got so many different colours in them. These arrived literally just before we were going out. This is what Gemma was rushing around trying to photograph. I was like, they are going to work with one of these for sure. Poor thing. Look, she hasn't even ripped off all the plastic off them. And as I look at it, actually, I'd go this one. Look how gorgeous. Yeah, picking out that red there. So maybe you'd have your, you see again, I would go cork based bag with this. Cork based bag, that lining, stunning, done. Done, done, done. This is quite a bright one. And I'm just waiting to see which one is going to, oh, hang on. Might not have to wait all that much longer. What do we think? Yeah, that's quite nice. Well, this one's a funny one. It would work with both. I'm kind of drawn more towards the darker one though for this, but it does have those lighter reds in there. Oh, decisions, decisions. This one is Rococo, and this one is Maraschino Cherry. Beautiful. Yeah, Maraschino Cherry. Sorry, Rococo, you are out of the running this morning. Now, what else have I got for you this morning? If you wanted to pick out the fabric, let me show you behind what I've used here. This is the fabric that I did that bag in, with a brass, antique brass frame, and also with the wristlet at the top. Same fabric cut differently. Really beautiful. So we've got those for you. Oh, now if you are going florals, ooh, we haven't really given any airtime to this. Oh, Gemma, is it too late to change my mind as to what I work with? Butterflies on the cave stripe quilt would be great. Steph, you are not wrong. And I might still add one in. Just one, just discreetly. Yeah, Beverly's saying the same. It did cross my mind. It really did. Yeah, you're all saying it. Stick a butterfly on the cave quilt. I don't think he'd mind. Yeah, look at that. Whew. That is a bit, yeah. Oh, that's a bit special. Now, you see, I had got out this one. What's this one called? This one is, it's just cream gold. Is it gum leaves? No, is this just little flower? Small flower in gold? I can't remember. They've all got numbers on, so we have to go by the numbers, not the names. But I love this one because it's effectively, well, it's got that, it's all gold. It's just gold and cream.
Small floral.
It is small floral, isn't it? Yeah. But you see, look, if you had to have anything that was going to go with it, look, you've got all of that gold in there. Lisa loves a bit of gold. And someone said to me the other day, there is nothing like her fabrics in the UK right now. There isn't. And they're, you know, here they are. Just enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. I might have to start doing some sort of striped situations with these. Other situations to choose from. I love how this is becoming a situation, Gemma. I've got a fabric-based situation going on. So these were the other things I was really tempted by, was to do the bag with that as the central piece and then line it in the blossom. I heart these two together very, very much. Very, very much. So there's that option. These, of course, are always an option in whatever way you want because it's classy and beautiful. Do it with your, either with your antique, I've got to take these out of the packet so you can't see. This is your antique brass or bronze or some other kind of thing beginning with B. Are we calling it brass or bronze, Jem? Do we know? She loaded it. She'll know. Let's get these fans. Oh, get your fans out. Let's have a look, shall we? So fresh off the, well, I was going to say boat. Plane. These were flown in. I am not faffing about with waiting around for import. You've casually done what? Oh, but look at that. Right to an opinion? Get out. Really? Yeah, no, it's beautiful. Yeah, yeah, throw a fourth one in, says Gemma. Is there, I think this is the original one. Look, if you look at the pattern for the treasure tote, you will notice that originally it was done. This was the original bag, like this, with that. And it's classy and gorgeous. And actually, do you know what? What I love about these is that the difference that bag in that, and then it's just going to have such a different feel. Such a different feel. I kind of want to do it in this. Oh, ooh. I'm not sure. What are we going to do this in? Seriously, what are we going to do this in? Because I've now got too many options and I'm a bit confused. I just need a ½ metre of each. I don't know whether or not I should do it as it was done. But you see then, you've got this, and this is just too beautiful. This is a classic. And this is just too beautiful not to do. And you could use your gunmetal frame or this one. I mean, oh. I just need more hours in the day to make all of these. Yeah, look at it with your different frames. What I would say, I know that we've got the silver frames as well. These look great with things like your cafe and stuff like that. But have a look, because those of Lisa's fabrics that have the silver on, like the grey, these are going to be stunning with. Beautiful. I mean, stunning. Just stunning. And then yeah, how gorgeous would your cherry blossom be on the inside of that? Whoa! But I've now confused myself because I'm now feeling quite drawn to this, which changes all the plans for today, and this was absolutely not what I was meant to do. Gemma's just thrown this one at me as well. She's like, what about the cream fans, you know, just to throw that into the mix? I'm like, what? Come on. But actually, yeah, if you're going for a springtime summery look, this is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. This is super swanky. But I was meant to demo in this. Oh, now I just don't know. Has anybody, can anybody help? Because, you know, fans, they're classy. Florals too big. Well, but it's a big bag. The floral would look gorgeous. Okay, let's go fans. So you can do fans in any, I mean, the fans are going to look great with the black. Let's do this. Let's do the one. Let's do it as Lisa originally intended. Yeah, this one. I'm going to annoy everyone now and go, what are we going to line it with then? So Gemma, we're going to blame Jane for this. Black fans, and Carol, we're blaming Carol as well. Do we sell the handle on its own, please? Yes, Patricia, we do. All of these handles are on their own because the pattern comes in for free. So you're not paying for the pattern. That's just it. You can ignore it if you want. But the bag handles come. So this will come with that. And that bit's free. We throw that in because we're kind. I say we. You know, Lisa's kind. Yes. The gum leaves. Oh, the gum leaves are now available. Oh. Actually, the gum leaves would look rather lovely as well, wouldn't they? Oh, there is a lovely olive gum leaf. All of these. All you see, this is it. By changing the colour, it's all going to look fabulous, whichever you choose to do. Are we going for? Are we decided now? Is that it? Possibly the biggest collection. You are so right, Gemma. Big flowers, fans with grunge lining. Aha! Ha ha! Let's do that then. I'm going to put this to one side and we'll have a look at those later. That grunge. This is the cherry one, isn't it? Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so let's have a little look at Lisa's instructions. We are going to need 40 centimetres of outer and 40 centimetres of inner. Right, let's get cutting then. What we'll do is we will do this one from the very beginning. And then, oh my gosh, I've just looked at the time. You should have told me to be quiet. Oh my goodness. Right, let's cut ourselves some of this. Alrighty, so when you get yours home, I'm really excited. I'm glad that we chose this. Honestly, I think I've driven everybody mad yesterday because I was just running around the studio going, but what about this one? What about this one? What about this one? They're like, oh, can you just decide or go away? Because, you know, we're all trying to work here. I might have been a bit annoying. Would that be a fair assessment, Jem? Yes. Again, I've kind of taken to using my Creative Grids mat here. And then my June Taylor, my lovely June Taylor one, I take Tochanda with me. That seems to be kind of where I'm at the moment. So this is 18.5 inches. So when we cut 20 inches for a ½ metre, just because it gives us a little bit of wiggle room. If, you know, something's slightly wonky, you're still going to get your full ½ metre. Yes. So 18.5 inches in height, and then we need it, oh no, 18.5 wide, 14 inches high. Oh well, there we go. Helps if I actually read these things, doesn't it? Good job I read it now. Let's get out the old stripology. Oh. Okay, so let's get, oh. What you want to do actually when you are doing this, so well, effectively what I've cut is going to be what you will need, because you've got a gusset in this, which is quite exciting. I've never really sewn with a gusset before. What I'm going to do as I fold this is just try and make my fans level. Oh, the concentration, you can practically hear it, can't you? And then I will cut level along there. Right, let me double check this again. This is the trick. This is the right one. I want it 14 high, 18.5 wide. We are committed. There we go. We're committed. We're going to need that for a gusset. 14 high. Right. I've got this. I've got this. 14 high. Must concentrate this morning. In the pattern, and this is why we give you the pattern, you get this and you get this. Well, you don't get, you get, look at me with all my sellotapey bits. If you've already received this pattern, there is a little typo, and it's just that it says that you back your outer panels and gussets with your bag batting, which we're going to do on step 5, and then it says it on step 6 as well. So it's just a little typo. We just got sent the wrong version. That's all. It's just a little error. This is it without the seam. So this is your gusset. This is going down the side, and what you want to do is make sure that your fans are all going to be up the right way. In fact, you know, I can probably cut 2 out at once. Look at that. Perfect. But you want to draw this one that doesn't have the seam allowance is not the one you want to use. For your fabric, you want this one with said seam. Oh, look, it's a perfect fit. This one with your seam allowance. And then your lining fabric, your batting, you're going to do with that. So let's cut these out. I was a bit nervous when I made this bag because A, it's so beautiful, and B, I'd never sewn anything with bag-wise with a gusset. I was like, what is going on here? But it's all good. Lisa's patterns are very easy to follow, which is just as well because I'm not normally someone that is any good at following anyone's patterns. Out of your ½ metre, that's what you will have left. In fact, a bit more, because we this is why you save all your scraps. So you want then to use the one that doesn't have a seam allowance. Honestly, I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of offcuts, because things like your bag batting, having the right one is paramount, but it can add a little bit of cost. But if you want to if you're going to go all out for beautiful fabrics, and these fabrics have kind of made me fall in love with bag making. Now, for me, I'm all about a quick, easy bag. Let's pop the iron on. As much as I love a pocket, I don't need to be making a gazillion bags with pockets. For me, I absolutely love a clutch bag like this. This is me. This is very much me. Now, for the gusset pieces, what you're going to do is find the adhesive side. So that's sort of soft. This one, well, you can almost see it glitter a little bit. That's going to go that way down. And what it does, is it will leave your seam allowance. Now, do be a little bit careful. Ask me how I know. I would just clip that before you take it to your ironing board. Yeah. Totally happened yesterday. Totally moved it. There we go. Now, you will need a walking foot, unless you've got a super duper machine. You will probably need a walking foot. I didn't use it. I used the Mini Beast, so I didn't actually need a walking foot. I was all set to put the walking foot on. It does have one, but I just had Gary from Dukey's words in my ears, where he just said, "You'll probably never use your walking foot," and he's quite right. I haven't so far. Well done for those of you that bought the machine yesterday, by the way. How very, very exciting. If you're wondering which machine I'm talking about, I'll show you in a minute. It's the new one. So, as much as I have a bit of a bag problem at the moment, turns out I also have a little bit of a oh, look, if I turn that around, it's pretty much iron shape. That's good. It turns out I also have a bit of a sewing machine problem at the moment. So just got a bit of a thing for Dukey sewing machines. There, I've said it. It's all good. It's fine. And my latest one is lovely. It just does straight stitch. It's the most simple machine to use. It just does straight stitch, reverse stitch, and that's it. That's your lot. If you want anything else, go elsewhere. So it is a second machine, but it is phenomenal. Right, I've used template. Look at me wobbling that around. I've used template plastic for that because I intend to make this a lot, let me tell you. Whee! So we have got that, I dare to say scrap, not scrap, not scrap. These are going to be our bag outers. I did have a moment yesterday when I made one and I went, I've got to fit all of that into, because this is the moment that you'll get, right? You'll go, what now? What? And by some magic of jiggery pokery, that will happen. Promise. But there is some jiggery and pokery. But I've got some top tips, so we're all good. Right, let's cut our lining for that then, shall we? And see where we... Gosh. There's a lot going on today. If I do that... Oh, yes. Right. It's where I need to concentrate. She says, going straight to Facebook, this is what you get having lots of choices. I know, Leanne, but they're good choices, right? It just means that I can make this an awful lot and it's going to look different. This is something that I would be actually really, really happy to make and gift. No, actually, I say that. What I actually mean is I would make it intending to gift it and probably end up keeping it and go, it's just too pretty to give away. I'm using my mat for these because this is too big to fit under a creative grid, but because I've got my creative grid mat, I can line up the lines on the ruler match up exactly with the lines on the mat, which doesn't always happen, so I am a happy person. Now then, I never trust my memory ever when it comes down to measurements, because I've proved myself wrong too many times. I can hear Half Pint having a scrap with next door's cat on the porch. She's too old to be fighting, honestly. So lining that up. Have you ever done that? Have you ever done that thing of making to gift and then just keeping? You see, lovely Karen, Karen of the dresses, it's not actually her name, but lovely Karen of the beautiful dresses, she actually manages to make and sell. But I would just be like, oh no, really like that one. I'm not sure that I can. You see, I thought about the cave quilt because my mum's got lots of blue and white. I did think, soz mum, I did think about giving it to you, but can't do it. Sorry. The cave quilt behind me is possibly my favourite quilt now ever of all time. And yes, I could well pop a butterfly in. That might happen. I'm nearly done here. I'm just squaring everything up, trying to make sure that I've measured accurately, correctly, that I'm not going to go wobbly at any stage. I mean, I might still go wobbly. I'm not going to make that promise. But prior and proper preparation, someone said they were worried the other day if I was going to do the full one and get taken off Facebook for saying a naughty word. Prior and preparation prevents poor performance. I used to work on a Pirelli natural horsemanship yard when I was training in natural horsemanship, and Pat Pirelli, the founder of this particular way of riding, he adds in a little swear word into there. Not going to put that one in. That was where I first heard it, and it kind of stuck. Yeah. But you see, this is it. Most people get pregnant and stop riding horses. I got pregnant and my mum went, your Arab is crazy, and if you need to have a cesarean or anything, I can't go near her. I was like, I'll sort her out. She was a little bit wild. I'll sort her out, I promise, Mum. So at 3 months pregnant, I went traipsing off to this amazing yard in Devon. And I worked there 3 days a week. And I remember my mother-in-law, I'm just going to fix this to this, saying to my husband, when are you going to help Natasha with her horses? It's like, when she stops mucking out 20 other people's horses. I was like, yeah, no, fair point, fair point. And I worked there for quite some months until one day they all went out on a ride. And David, one of the guys there, he made the most beautiful Western saddles. And his latest made one was just over a tree. A tree is basically just a wooden frame that you put your saddles on to stop them from getting damaged when they're taken off the horse. So everyone had gone out and I'd done all the mucking out, and I wasn't riding that day for some reason. So I just thought, oh, I'll just have a little go in David's nice new saddle. Looks really comfy. Managed to climb in. I don't know how I managed to climb in. Managed to climb in. And of course, then you've got the pommel at the front of a Western saddle. Well, that was it. I was stuck. And because it was just sat over the tree, the girth wasn't done up or anything like that. So I was completely stuck. I couldn't get out of this saddle. So I had to confess to everyone when they came back and I was stuck in the yard and they had to help me out of this saddle, that I just wanted to try David's new saddle. It was rather beautiful. But yeah, I was stuck in the saddle for quite some time, and that was when I realized that possibly it was time to maybe stop riding. But there were only 2 horses that I rode when I was pregnant with Fred's. And one of them, whenever Pat Pirelli came over to the UK, one of them was the horses that he would always ride. Oh, Mr. Grey, he was beautiful. And my old boy Oscar, who I bought with my student loan at the age of 19. And I had him for over 20 years. And I would trust him like no other. He was phenomenal. Yeah, most people spent their student loan on beer and stuff. I bought a horse. Right, let's get these interfacings done. So we've got our gusset, 2 outers. We are getting there. Now the thing with bag making, what we'll do with the other one is I'll just show you how the constituent parts go together. It's like when we made that bag, if we get time, otherwise we'll do it another day. But my thought process was to do that, but I seem to have got distracted by lots of fabrics. Sorry everybody, but we have got lots of Lisa's bags and things to make. She was making a beautiful one this morning. Was that hang on, that would have been your evening, wasn't it, Lisa? Really beautiful, which I think might be next on the list for sure. So this is just the time. Someone said to me the other day, where's your prim mini iron gone? But for stuff like this, the prim mini iron takes even longer. So what I tend to do is have this one to hand for this sort of shenanigans. But then yesterday, the prim mini iron came out because it's got a 2 meter lead, and I had that on the floor, put my pressing mat underneath, done. Right, let's make the bag outer and then I'll show you how to make the inner. So let's move all of this out the way. All right. Oh, and the phone. Are we all good, by the way? Hello, 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 hello. Anybody else? There we go. Just borrowed computer off the kids. Everything looks even nicer than on my phone. Can't believe they could look better. They really do, Dawn. And when you get them home... Oh, Anne. Yeah, she was on at 1 p.m. here in Australia. Yeah, I was watching. Morning, Basil. Blah, 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 blah. Can you buy the instructions separately? Oh, we haven't done that. I think my ruler thing is a bit cheaper than collecting machines. Yeah, potentially, Geraldine. But it'll all lead to the same. Don't you worry. So the first way. Hello.
See what the size of the finished bag looks like.
Oh, the finished size of the bag? Next to my personal self. It's a goodly size, isn't it? It is a goodly size.
It's not massive. If you wanted to dance with it at a wedding, you could get bits in.
Oh, so it's perfect for that, because the Styleville is very spongy. That was the word. Thank you for whoever gave us that word earlier. But it gives it that great rigidity. I thought about using HS40, but the thing is, the handles are heavy, but you're going to be able to fit quite a lot in there. And so we're going to just put in the gusset. Can you see the gusset that goes in there? We're going to pop that in These handles are not properly sewn on, they are tacked on for now, and that's just so that I can show you my way of doing it, because I'm not going to lie, it is a little bit fun to do that bit. Right, okie dokie. Oh, I tell you what we didn't think of, and that is, if you wanted to get, if you've got, I mean, I went with my flexi frame pattern for the glasses case, but look, you could have a matching topped one of those if you've got Lisa's pattern. Ooh, that would, oh, there you go, block everything. That would be a bit special, wouldn't it? Could you imagine? Hang on, let me show you this. Getting all overexcited now. This is my flex frame one, which is all very nice. But of course, this is Lisa's pattern, and then you can buy the tops separately. Then you can do it with your, so you could you see that would basically be like that. And then I would have matching metal tops. Oh, that's nice. And actually, wouldn't that be a fabulous gift as well? I'm getting all overexcited. Right, well, I'm clearly going to have to do that, aren't I, at some stage? Yes. Okay, so fans. This is how they're going to be, because they will go up around the bag. So I want to put them right sides together. Get yourself out a few clips, ladies and gents. Now, when fabric moves, it just does, and obviously this doesn't, so it might be, you can see that where I've fixed this on, the fabric's moved a little bit, it's overhanging a little bit. I am not going to stress about that, and because you will have your walking foot on, you don't need to stress either. All is going to be well and good with the world. Okay. Get your little pokey tool at the ready. In my defence, Geraldine, at least I can put the sewing machines against hacks. It's an essential part of what I do. Therefore, it's needed, right? And I tell you what, when they go through like this. Anyway, I'm blaming Lisa for my new machine, because if she hadn't gotten me into bag making, I wouldn't have wanted one. Well, yeah. So that is your base done. Now, what we have to do is get these little chaps, and we are going to find a marker pen that's going to show up. How wide are these? Oh, 3 inches, there you go. Right in the middle. Oh, look what I've done there. Oh, I couldn't have done that any better if I'd actually tried. That is my middle point. That is going to go there. I'm going to clip that to there, that to there. Bob's your uncle and all that. And all I try to do is make sure that that lines up onto my seam, so that I know that everything is starting to fix up properly. So let's find that middle point. Midpoint there. Lining up beautifully there. And then we stitch these along. The actual construction of this is pretty simple. Now, the thing that you need to remember is this. These are going to pivot, okay? So we don't sew all the way along the base. We're going to start at the corner of that interfacing, okay? We're going to start 1/4 of an inch in both sides, and stitch along and leave 1/4 of an inch, which then allows this to then pivot around, because then we start to sew up the sides. Ooh, yeah. You see, I say all these things and I've got to actually remember to do it, which is then the fun bit. So starting about 1/4 of an inch in, forward, a couple of inches back, there we go. One side. Woohoo! Yeah, no, I didn't stitch too far. Okay, so that is your gusset in. So next thing, well, it's not, it's the start to the gusset, isn't it? We're now going to start stitching this in. Okay, so what I would suggest you do when you take this to machine, you can clip and pin, like you can do all of that. Absolutely you can. But basically, this is just going to need, so you can clip, 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 clip. Because it's slightly curved. I don't. How bad is that? I am going to start, which way do I start from? I'm going to start here. All right. I'm going to start with the gusset on top, and I'm just going to keep, because it's on a straight line to start off with, then it starts going curvy, and then I'm just going to keep moving that round and round so it's on a straight line. You'll see. Okay, but because we didn't stitch all the way to the end, that gives me enough freedom to then line that there. If you want to just pop a clip in to take it to your machine, then do so. Here it is. So we're going to stitch along there, and then I'm just going to keep lining that up with that outside edge there. So forward and back, and then up we go. Now you will have your walking foot on your machine, all right? Unless you're one of the amazing people that nab one of these. Just know, by the way, that if you are buying one of the mini beasts, I say mini beast, it's the TL2200 QVP mini. That's what I mean when I say the mini beast. Just know that you won't get it straight away. There is a wait list. In ordering now, you go on to that wait list for when the next container comes in. So that is that sewn 1/4 of an inch all the way along. I'm going to have to flip this. There we go, let's line up those edges. And just go slow and steady, pin it if you want. Absolutely no shame in pinning away. Pin, 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 pin. And here we go, so slow and steady. I'm matching my top seam to my bottom seam so that I am always stitching straight. So I keep stopping, I'm on a curve, round it comes, and then as I get round to the top, I then line up the rest of it one gusset in, boom. Let's then repeat that to the other side. I don't know how much, what sort of a view you've got that. Oh, there's my micro stitch. This keeps logging me out. Don't log me out. So again, because we didn't sew all the way up to the edge, and I'm always going to go from the base upwards, because what I don't want to happen is to start from the top and then have a bulgy bit where something's moved or shifted. So I'm always going to start from the base and stitch up. Wrestle this stuff, you know, it's all good. Honestly, don't be afraid to really manipulate it and move it around to where you want it to be. It's all good. Because, it's meant to be rigid, so move it. Just move it. I pussyfooted around a bit with it when I first started. I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Something new, something tricky. Am I going to manage? Yeah! Get stuck in. I feel quite fearless now. Now that I have done my absolute nemesis, which is free motion embroidery live on air. And thank you for everyone that had lots of supportive comments. Those of you that gave me extra hints and tips, always so valuable, because you don't stop learning. And for me, I'm just starting my free motion journey, as we saw yesterday. One tip that somebody said was, if you're using Bonder web, you can always cut out the middle bit of the Bonder web, because unlike Mistifuse, Bonder web it doesn't drape as well. So if it's going to be a wall hanging, you're absolutely fine. But if you want it to drape, then you might want to just cut out the middle bit of your Bonder web, and then you'll bond your flower to the outside. That also means that if you want to, you can then cut out the middle of the backing of the fabric as well, which would also allow you, if you're worried about any of the dark fabric showing. Now, I know yesterday I went with for my quilt, I went with the Moda white, which photographs really badly and just looks like a dirty white, but actually what it's given is a lot of detail and depth to the quilt top. I will stop going on about that quilt, but I am very much in love with it right now. And it's going to be the project that teaches me to free motion. We all have those projects, don't we, that teach us something, and that's going to be mine. So I'm at that top, and around we go. Then it's just a case now. I haven't quite stitched 1/4 of an inch up to that end. There we go. So what I've got now is my gusset in both ends. Okay, now you're going to repeat all of that for the lining and then stitch it all the way round. So how are we doing on time? Are you okay if I just quickly cut that out? I'll try and be a little bit quicker, she says. Gemma's laughing because she knows that I can never be quick if my life depends on it. I'm like, But I think if this is the first time that you've sewn a gusset, and for me it was, yesterday was the first time that I'd sewn the gusset. But honestly, just get a walking foot on, you'll be absolutely fine. Now, I want that. Again, I'm not going to trust my memory to remember how high all this is meant to be. Yeah. I think you're right, by the way, guys. I think that this Moda Grunge is going to look phenomenal for a lining. By the way, thank you everyone who's posting their photos of their wristlets. Don't they look beautiful? I'm really impressed. Really impressed. Very, very lovely. I think we've got more stock now of the cork. So if you want to make more of those, go for it. Now you see, this is always going to be quicker to cut because I'm not worrying about pattern matching. Oh, the rainbow fob with matching. Yeah, we've added some more stock of that as well. Have you got one I can flaunt to people? Go on, Gemma. Let me flaunt a little rainbow wristlet. Everyone was, yeah, no, you went absolutely crazy for them. When we did the wristlet kits, because of course you get so much cork left over. So if you've got some of the other Lisa fabrics and stuff, with some of the smaller butterflies, I reckon you could fit a butterfly in. Oh, it'd be gorgeous. But yeah, now have a little play. Have a little play with some of that. See where you get to. Right. But yeah, we did have, Gemma's quite right, we had the rainbow fobs with matching purple tassels. They were fun. And we sold out. I've just restocked now. These are the ones I mean. Oh, Gemma's been packing these. She's got the old sellotape out. These are the ones I mean. How gorgeous are these? I mean, not with the red. Right, let me go close up for you. Look at those. Aren't they cool? And I love the rain because it's just going to go with everything. It's just going to go with everything. I mean, could you imagine? Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Anyway, we digress. Okay, so we're going to repeat exactly the same scenario with the gusset. You're going to be so ready to gusset. Can I use that as a verb? Can you gusset? I don't know. I think I'm just well, you know, languages are one of those things, aren't they? They evolve. So we are now we're now evolving to gusset. This is why templates are fabulous. Get your template plastic. If, like me, you are really frugal and didn't have enough left, sellotape it all together. It's all good. Nothing gets wasted. Nothing, I tell you. Right, so let's repeat this process. So if anybody is unsure of what we've done so far, pay attention. And I will try not to forget anything vital. I don't know why I'm singing it to you. Sorry. Right. Oh, hang on a minute. You see, this is why you should always press your fabrics beforehand. Look at that. Wobbly bit. Look at that sneaky wobble. Gemma, we've got a sneaky wobble. There we are, not anymore. It's gone. So. There we go. Right, let's go to the machine. Now. Right, so then if you want to press that seam open, then do. Gemma, can you and Jane do me a massive favour, please? I'm just aware that everyone is being really, really patient and I'm taking forever because I got carried away with fabrics. Right. I've started cutting out, bear with me everyone, sorry, quick private conversation. I've started cutting out the wadding for the next bag. Here we go. Do you think that between your good self and Jane, you might just manage to cut. Oh, there you go. cut my bits out?
Of course.
Thanks. Thanks.
No problem.
Dee-dee-dee-dee. I did have to laugh. I took Freddie to the farm shop to get a treat the other day. It was the end of the Easter holidays, so off we went. We had an hour without Emily, so we went off to do something, and just the whole world has gone mad, hasn't it? And, you know, we try so hard to social distance and be really, really careful and cautious with everything. And the lady put the change down and she put it on the counter, and I picked it directly up, and I'm just like, what? I don't understand. I don't know. We've all got to be careful, haven't we? Right, I'm actually going to mark on here my start and stop. And if you want to, then you can do your start and stop bits on using your template. So that's where you're going to start, that's where you're going to stop. That's your middle bit there. That's the beauty of having both templates. So you know where you're going to start. Oh, you probably can't even see that. So that's my middle section. I'm going to line that up. That's where I'm going to start. That's where I'm going to stop. Hurrah. There we go. Pop that in place there. Oh, sneaky pin. Don't know where that came from, but I'll use it. Thank you very much. And then same here. There we go. I'm making sure that everything is lining up into the middle there. We are good to go. There we go. Couple of stitches forward, couple of stitches backwards, and down we go. I appear to be on quite a long stitch length for some reason. Change that immediately. Okay, so exactly the same process as we did for the outer. You might be able to stick that in there. You might be able to see this slightly better this time around because you won't have all the interfacing getting in the way. So here we go. We are going to stitch from the base. So here we go. Because I've stitched to that point, I now have got the ability to then line that up, those sides, and then as I go, I'm fine, this is a straight line up to there, and then I will just manipulate my fabric round. Okay. Ah, I haven't done this right sides together. No! This is what happens when you rush. Sorry people, bear with. Bear with. Sorry, Lisa. She'll be going, oh, Natasha, what you doing? Actually, she calls me Nat. She's the only person in the entire world that calls me Nat. I've never been a Nat. Oh, so these are my newfound, these little easy snips are my newfound favourite thing for just seam ripping. The other ones, you know, the mighty one that looks like a surgical blade, that is great for getting in and starting it off. But these, just whip it off. It's great. I hadn't really thought of using them for this. And then I saw somebody else with a pair and I was like, oh, I've got some like that. Them go, yay! There we go, right. We're good again. Sorry everybody, sorry. I mean, to be fair, we'd got an hour and a half in and I hadn't really messed anything up too much, so we'd done quite well. Anybody new watching will be like, what is she talking about? There's kind of a thing. For those of you that know me, you know that I work on mainstream shopping channels as well as here. This is my own thing here. On the mainstream shopping channels, I always forget something. That's sort of my thing, is that I always forget something. But now I've started taking my trolley in so that I don't. My trolley that I've got here, I put it in the back of the car, and I strap it in with a seat belt so it doesn't go anywhere, and off we go, merrily rejoicing everywhere. And I must look ever so strange rocking up to the studios, wheeling my little trolley through. But yeah, on shopping TV, if you make a mistake, normally, like, they'll change a camera angle, they'll go off and do something, so it keeps the magic. But I disagree. I disagree massively, because this is real, and this is real sewing, and real sewing goes wrong, and that's the end of it. And if we all try, it's like cutting the camera away is a bit like airbrushing, you know, a model. It makes it look like an impossible standard. This is just my view. This is why I never shy away from admitting my mistakes, because we're all human at the end of the day. And I don't care how many years experience you have, at some point you will sew the wrong thing round the wrong way. As soon as you obviously have the added excitement of cameras and everything else, or if you're like me, you chat too much, or you get distracted by beautiful fabrics, that's another one, then, you know, stuff happens. And I'm never going to pretend to be perfect or something I'm not. So I will always tell you, oh, thank you, when I go wrong. I will always admit to it, and then we can put it right together. You lucky things. But it's the same as, you know, if something goes wrong with a machine or anything like that, the number of people when the NX7 started sounding a bit wobbly that went, oh, actually mine's done that, or my machine does that, and it was just that I'd snapped a needle and it had dinged the bobbin case. Now, if I had covered that over and gone, oh, we would never have known. But actually then Gary from Dukey came in and he's like, oh, this is what it is, and this is how you can tell. And actually you might be able to, if you've done this at home, you might be able to get a little bit of like a nail file and just sand it out a little bit and be fine. Or just know that they are consumable parts on your machine, and therefore nothing to worry about if you do indeed need to purchase another one. So it's all good. Right, I am rushing this a little bit just because I want to be able to show you the main bit, because I don't want to just get to the handle and go, and then you just stuff it in the handle, because it's not that. And I mean, I might be going a little bit over the top with all these bags, but I have wanted to be able to do this for years, and it's always felt just a little bit out of my league. So now I'm absolutely thrilled. Last gusset to go, and so you can see we're going in there this time round again. Because I didn't stitch all the way up to the end, I can then move that around. A bit like when we did the door stopper. Any time that you sew like a square base or anything like that, you need to be able to just move it around. Always going back and forth in my stitching as well. And this is just where you'll see I've got my left hand with my fabric on top, and all that is doing is just constantly aligning that fabric, that top fabric, to that bottom curve. And that's all I'm doing. It's not a steep curve or anything like that. You'll be absolutely fine with it. But there is a curve. And then when we get to here, bish bash bosh. And that's it. That's your gusset in. Done. Now, somewhere along the line I've gone slightly wonky, probably because I have rushed, and I should not have rushed. So I will just trim that off. You will take super duper care. Obviously Jane now has my long ruler, which makes it slightly more difficult. Oh, okay. But I will, yeah. There's always a way. Always a way. Just trim that up. You do just want, like the bag lining, if it's a little bit wonky, is not the end of the world, but you do want the round the top of the lining to be even. Oh, that dresser there. Okay, yeah, no. Well, I didn't see that bit, did I? So what we're going to do is get this here, and one or the other you need to turn around the right way, because when you sew, we're going to, oh no, you know what else I didn't do while I was thinking about it? I didn't leave a turning through gap. So let's just quickly cut ourselves a little turning through gap as well. You see what I mean? Always busy chatting, but it's simple enough to do. Honestly, don't worry about it. And you want to leave yourself a good, you'll be able to get your hand in it a bit more, because if you don't, you're only going to rip it anyway. I used to go forwards and backwards where I left off for my turning through gap, and I've stopped doing that, because actually if you don't leave a big enough turning through gap, if you've done a forward and back and just secured with your stitch, what will happen is, if you haven't left a big enough gap, you'll just rip your fabric. So you are kind of better off leaving it, so that if it does need to pull open a little bit more, it can. And at least I realise that now. So let's turn this through the right way. So when you start to sew round here, you want it right sides together. Just think right sides together. And we're going to sew around the top. This is going to look beautiful. It's going to look so beautiful. I'm very excited for this. What I tend to do is just match up my seams, open out the seams and put a clip in it. And then I go to the other end and pop a clip in it. And basically, if when I pull it taut, those linings come together, I know I'm going to be all right. It's not going to be gapey or anything too dreadful. And if you want to, you can pin and clip all the way round. I tend to more if the lining fabric is very close or a similar shade, and I'm going to struggle to necessarily see it. Tend to do it then. Now again, you are going to wrestle this lining, this bag batting. Do not worry about that. But do a stretch, then pull it around, and then you're just stitching a straight line. Let it feed through the machine, double check, realign your lining if you need to. But then you are just always going to be stitching a straight line. So that now needs to come around so that again I can stitch this straight. And I've done this on a shot so that you can see that it is kind of okay to manipulate it. And it does become a lot easier once you are past those side seams, because the side seam, of course, is where the gusset is. That's where you are going to wrangle a little bit. Get your walking foot on. I don't need it with this machine. Get your walking foot on. There we go. Now the reason that I don't pin all the way around is just because I tend to stab myself all the way around, which I'm going to be honest is not fun for anyone. And that's it sewn around the top. We then turn it through the turning through gap that you may or may not awkward have remembered to do. It's the moment of truth. Dun 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 dun. Here we go. Never looks elegant, this bit, does it? Pushing out those corners, they're looking rather good. There's my gusset. That will eventually, so the gusset is there so that that can do that, because then from there on in, that you see will have to fold in like so, so that you will get that shape of the bag, okay? Now you will slip stitch shut. Now this is the beauty. If you're using something like Styleville Fix, then you have a choice right now, because it does look like you've put a binding around the top. It looks really beautiful, and that is rather lovely. If you want to, you can leave it like that, because it's the lining inside. It kind of doesn't matter. There we go. If you want to leave it like that, just give it a good press if you want to leave it like that. Or I am going to top stitch round, because it makes it much easier trying to get it into the bag top. And with that one that I've done behind me, I made sure that the seam was on the top. What that does though is it gives you more layers to sew, to hand stitch through when you sew that bag on, and you're already going through quite a lot of layers. So if you're worried in any way, what I would say is just top stitch round as if it's got a border. Might look quite pretty actually with this contrast one. Let me show you what I mean. Like so. So if I pull that down, then my seam allowance, and this is what I did for mine, just to see. Yes, it's really smart and really neat, but I've now got an extra layer there, or two actually, because I've got my seam allowance there. So if you are worried in any way about getting this into your frame, don't do that. Press it and then top stitch around. Press it, she says, and then doesn't. You will press it. Now, if you've used 1/4 inch, then you're going to be top stitching by smidge over 1/4 of an inch. For me, because I've still got that guide on my foot, it's going to just show up a little bit. This is going to be hidden under my bag handle, so I'm not worried about it. But please do work in a thread that is going to blend. The only reason that I don't is so that you guys can see my stitching. But I'm constantly pulling this around. And pulling that lining down inside. Sorry, it's not the easiest to get a great view with. There we go. So that's top stitched round. Let's see, there you go, top stitched round. That is going to sit up inside. Now obviously you will slip stitch your bag base shut. Let's get rid of that snip there. Now you want to measure in, let me ruler, and find your halfway mark. So from the seam in, from that seam in should be, there we go. Just double check yourself, yep. So you want to mark that halfway point on both sides, and then the moment we've all been waiting for. Ah, it doesn't fit, Natasha. It's fine, absolutely fine. I'm not going to say that this doesn't take a while. It does take a while. Like, I'm not going to even pretend that it doesn't, because it really does. But it is absolutely worth your while doing, and doing well. Now, what I would suggest you do, I'm going to baste this in, okay? And I'm going to use all the stuff. I tried, you know, I did with my micro stitch tool the other day. I basted in the leather bag handles, worked an absolute treat. I was so thrilled with myself. I was like, right, I've peaked. That's the best idea I have ever had. And it was. Potentially it was. But what I have since discovered is that that doesn't work with the metal ones as easily. Not to say it doesn't work completely, but these holes are just slightly too big for the micro stitch tool. So I had mixed results with it. What I'm looking around for is, if anybody can see it, my bulldog clip. Has anybody seen it? Look at the state of everything. I do get a bit overexcited, don't I? Right, so I based these bags. I'll move some of these out of the way. I can't find my bulldog clip. What have I done with it? Don't know. Jem, have you got any bulldog clips, please? I could borrow from your... I've put it somewhere really safe. Yeah. You never be found. Never be found. And this... Oh, yeah. So the orifil threads are over here. Do you want to take a quick look before, whilst Gemma tries to find me a bulldog clip? She's not going to find one. I'm the only one. I like to tell her that. Might have sent her on a wild goose chase. I don't know if I can do this. Aha! Oh look, there you go. Ta-da! Those three Now these are 1,000 metre spools. This is your blue-throated macaw. So they're all named after endangered species, and then Orifil are helping to support those endangered species with every sale. That is your macaw. What have we got over here? African wild dog. Ooh, nice. And you're basically getting a trio of cut. Yeah, we might have started on these. This is your... Love that. Oh, if you are working in those oranges and those golds, those blacks, use that one. These are just an all-round one that everybody should have, and that is your African penguin. No, it's not the right one. It's too big, Gem. Sorry. That is your whale shark. No, it's only the one that I had. I've only got one that's the right size, and I had it on my desk just before you get too excited. I know, right? The Pangolian, we've used that one. That's been beautiful colours to use. And actually, wouldn't that look lovely with that? Ooh, yeah, now we're talking. That will be my hand stitching thread of choice, I feel. Which just leaves the Iberian lynx up here, which I can't really show you. And the penguin, these two. Ta-da! These are just, the purples are beautiful, really stunning. And if you've gone with the purple, what are they called? Dragons, not a quick trick question. Then they're fabulous. And then the Iberian lynx. These are all the ones that are just going to blend in. You're just not going to notice. So everybody should have those. And have we still got those up on the offer? Or did we take the offer down? It's a very good question. We did. It's an SJ question. She's probably too busy eating cake. Yeah. Did our cake arrive? We don't know. No. Shut up. Right. What have I done with it? So anyway, get yourself some bulldog clips. They really help. I mean, like, really help. Well, anything could happen right now. Did I put it in here? Going, oh, I'll need that later.
It's the kind of thing you do.
I know it's the kind of thing I do, but not in this case, no.
If you were Emily, you'd put it in a shoe.
Oh, yeah, if I was Emily, I'd put it in a shoe or somewhere really useful. Maybe Emily has put it in a shoe.
Oh, it's perfectly plausible.
There is a possibility. Oh, it could be anywhere. Right, bear with me. We'll try and clip as well as we can, but bulldog clips, the big 50mm ones, are your friend right now. Well, they would be, if I could find them. What have I done, Gemma?
I don't know.
You don't know. Then I don't know either. Right, get yourself some thread with a knot on the end. And then you've marked your centre point. I'm not going to lie, it is going to be a little bit of a wrestle to get that into there. But we're going to do it. Yes, we are. And what we're going to do is whip stitch over the top to tack it in place. Then you'll go in with your beautiful stitches. Okay, so oh, you see, now what's going to look beautiful is actually you're going to get a little hit of red under there. These are my middle two here, so I'm going to put that line in between those two, and I'm going to go down through there and up and round. Now, it is way too difficult, and you will just keep moving this around and around if you keep trying to go back on your stitches, back on your stitches, back on your stitches, which you will do when you do come to sew this in properly. But honestly, my best advice to you is to start off like this and just get some stitches in place so that it's held in place. Helps if I actually pull the needle. Okay, now you will notice that, and I'm trying to do this so that you can see. What I did when I was doing this was I actually had another needle started and I stitched out that way as well. So I've got two needles in the bag behind me, and that's what I was constantly working with. And you are going to have to bend this end in. And this is where it just start, just if you want to, get your little tool and oik it in. That's a technical term. What I have got, because I sewed in a contrast stitch colour, oh, just broken that, because I started sewing in a contrasting stitch colour, I can always see that my seam allowance, I know that I've got everything in equally, because I can see my seam. Okay, and what you want to do is use your fingers, your pokey tool, whatever, to push that lining up into the top of there. Okay, now the first side is the trickiest. And for every stitch, you will poke it up, hold it there with your finger, whip stitch it around. But what that's going to do is hold everything in place. Now, when you get to the corner, let me just show you the corner. I'm not going to do all of this, just because once you've started to do this, and you will get through a lot of cotton, I double mine up. To get into the corner, right, so you will manipulate your fabric up, 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 up. At some point, that needs to double back on itself. Okay, so you can fold it and you can start to see, yeah, that's where it is. It would double back at an angle. That's the beauty of this clasp. Okay. And as you're stitching, as you get closer and closer to it, and this is where you will want to get your pokey tool in and poke that seam up into there. Now you see at this point, yeah, that's not going to cut it, is it? So you'll have basted all of that in, and then that fold on the side, you just see that fold will then sit into there, and that's what gives it that beautiful, beautiful shape. And the same will happen when you've done, weirdly, when you've done one side, the other side is super easy to do. But the key, the absolute key that I found that made this easy was to whip stitch over the top of the frame, and then it's like a basting stitch. And actually, if you have done it so that you've got your lining there, like we've just showed you, that is a great guide to make sure that you know that you've pushed it in far enough. So you will baste all the way along there. It will then start to dome out and give you that beautiful shape. I just love this. So let's see if I can give you an idea of how this will basically then start to come together. It folds in more than you think. There we go. Fold into about there on that side. There we go. To about there, and then it goes out, and that's why you've got that shaped gusset in there to allow it to do that. It's going to take a little time, even in the instructions, Lisa's like, sit down with a cuppa and get going. But honestly, my top tip, which means that you will manage this with ease, is to whip stitch based over the top, because then it holds it in. And then probably have to show this upside down on a close-up. So you can see that is all whip stitched in place along there. What that is now going to allow me to do is to then just go in and stitch with a beautiful thread all the way along there, and then I can just cut those and pull them out. But that is holding everything. And then, you know, if I want to, if I think, oh gosh, you know, maybe I haven't got it quite straight or anything else, then I've got that chance to change it before I'm committed. Okay. Don't they look different? Don't they look different? I love them both. Do you have a favourite, Jane?
Sorry?
Do you have a favourite? Oh no! Don't they look different though? Exactly the same pattern, but totally different fabrics.
Different occasions.
Different occasions, absolutely. You know, just black, something nice, elegant. Well, actually, for either of them, maybe more daytime. I don't know. They're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful. So that is what I would say. These frames are a little bit too big to go with the other way of doing these that Lisa taught us with these little clasps. So with these little clasps, what you will do is, and I have got them here somewhere. So if you're doing this and you're doing the glasses case, which I now obviously need to do with a matching whatever, is get yourself some drawing pins. I bought some pretty ones as an excuse, and I'll show you this here. So what you'll do is pop your fabric up into that lining, get your drawing pin, beautiful or otherwise, place it through there. You see, because we've used the Styleville fix, it's too thick to use this method, but you're just going to use a little bit of H640 or H630 or something with this case. Then get a bit of cut up rubber eraser, if you're in the States. In the UK we call it rubber. And that is how you will baste that in place. Which is just genius, absolute genius. But for the big bags, whip stitch over the top. Okay. Right. Oh, it's top tips galore today, isn't it? Top tips galore. Alrighty. So the next bag that we're just going to look at has a slightly different construction. You're going to put the handle in exactly the same way, but I did just promise you that I would show you the bag construction. It goes together basically the same way as the Melba tote. Okay. Lisa is convinced that there are only 6 ways to make a bag. Really? Really? But if I show you this, then you'll be well equipped with everything that we've looked at today to do this bag. So again, fuse your outers. You can just see me feeling it. There's a rough side. With the Styleville fix, there is a rough side, and that is the side that has the adhesive on. The fabric that we're using now is beautiful, and we are going to go with the Orange Fans lining. Oh, it's a bit of a treat. Do you know what? It feels extravagant, but to be honest, when you've got all the fabrics, it would kind of be rude not to. I was that person that only used to make stuff out of scraps because I was really worried that it would go wrong and I would waste it, which is why our scrap bags are fabulous, because I always make sure that you've got fat quarter size bits in there, you know, the good size pieces in there, and you're not paying the earth at all. In fact, some of the ones I've just put together have got half meters of Liberty and just leftover Christmas stuff. You've got all sorts in the latest Liberty ones, and the latest scrap bags rather. Here we are. I've got to remember how to do this now. It's been ages since I made that initial bag. Here we go. So you are now going to, these are your 2 bag outers and this is actually your base. So find the center of your base. It's 10.5, so that's going to be 5 1/4, and I'm just going to mark that. And again, which way round does this go? It's that way. Ah, I've forgotten how this goes. Is 12.5 wide, 10 high. Just checking myself here, because this has been a little while since I made this, but you are going to go right sides together in that middle piece there. Oh yeah, no, I remember now. Gosh, I was doubting myself for a minute there. Okay, so it does look weird because you think I've cut this wrong. No, you haven't. You're good to go. Right, let's go to the machine and let's stitch down there, and you will stitch all the way along. Again, you're going through layers and layers, so do think about using a walking foot. Okay. So that's your first bit. Ta-da! And then, okay, you will find the middle bit of your other bag. If you are using a directional print, you're going to want to think about, so I'm matching my 2 middle points there. The other thing to match are your sides. Just make sure that everything is merrily aligned. So I've got my center point there matching, and then I can tell that everything is lined up because down that point there is that. I'm going to flip that, realign it there. Like so. And we're going to stitch down there, okay? You will make your lining in exactly the same way. It's just that on this base, you will leave a turning through gap, okay? So you can now see, starting to look like we've got something going on there. Then this line here, this side here, so there's our base that we've just sewn on. We're going to push those 2 sides together, clip if you want, but under your machine, forwards, backwards, hold that in place, and down we go. And then look, you've got a little illy diddly hole there. Pull that to the side like so and stitch along there. You want to make sure that that is going to be, again, wrestle this bag, wrestle this lining. Make sure your seam is in the middle and then just stitch across. And then repeat to the other side. So that long side there, we're going to stitch all the way down. And again, you've basically got a box bottom there. So if you want to do it from this side, squash that down. And get it so it's nice and flat across there. Again, pop it under your machine. There we go. What I should have done, I just realised, is of course not sewn right the way to the end. I should have just done a 1/4 of an inch and that would have made that easier. But, you'll do exactly the same with the lining. Then you'll put the lining and the bag outer right sides together. Okay. And that is then the shape of your bag to then get... Did I do with it? One of your bag handles. Here it is. And again, you will find that center point. This will have to shimmy in a little bit. And again, you will do this in the exact same way. Obviously, you'll put the lining in like we did with the other bag. But if I can just show you, by the time that that is in, that is what we'll be looking at. Absolutely stunning. Just stunning. With, of course, when you open it up, that will be its lining on the inside. Just gorgeous, just gorgeous. Right. It is gone midday. It's lunchtime, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Jane is here tomorrow with the bee quilt. I wouldn't let her put it up today because I was still loving my cave quilt so much. I was like, can we just have it tomorrow? So we've got a beautiful, great big bee quilt by a lovely new designer called Tracy. She's ever so lovely. So please do get behind and support a new designer for us. That is tomorrow at 10 o'clock. 11? Where did that come from? 10 o'clock. Stitchy Witchy Wednesday with Jane. And I will see you then. Thank you so much. I'm going to read through your comments and have a giggle now. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.